Everyone, my name's Scott. Welcome to the CanGeek Games and Collectibles YouTube channel. This is our first session our first session for As Fate Would Have It. The CanGeek Games and Collectibles Fate Accelerated role-playing game. We are running a homebrew adventure today. I am joined by these three amazing people. We have Chris, Anthony, and Greg. We're going to give you each 60 seconds or less to introduce yourselves. And keeping with the fact that Chivalry is not dead, we will go with Chris first, and then Greg and
Lies.
Anthony. So, Chris, tell us a bit about yourself.
Um, hey, hi, I'm Chris. I'm also part of the CanGeek team. And this is my first time doing this kind of role-playing online, so let's see how it goes. Okay, your turn.
Okay.
My turn. Oh, okay, all right. My name's,
Yes.
yeah, my name's Anthony. I run token-resistance.com. I'm a 3D print on demand service, so I print pretty much anything. I've got resin, I've got FDM. It all depends on what you need. So yeah, that's about it for me. Greg.
Yeah, my name's Greg. I played online before on YouTube. I've known these guys, my friends right around here for a long time. We've gamed a lot, and yeah, I'm looking forward to playing. I've never played this before. So.
All right. So, on that note, it's very important to note that this is the first time that us folks here at CanGeek Games and Collectibles have ran a Fate Accelerated game. It is also the first time that any of us have played the Fate Accelerated system. So, as the sacrificial lamb, I am the person that will be GMing this adventure. And then we have these three amazing, willing guinea pigs that are willing to suffer under my control. So, without further ado, let's get into session one as fate would have it here on the CanGeek Games and Collectibles YouTube channel. Now, looking at your character sheets, I have noticed that Greg has the highest quickness out of our three members of this party, so this is how this story is going to unfold. Greg, you slowly begin to open your eyes into complete darkness. Your body is in agony. You feel like you have been the victim of a hit and run.
Oh, nice.
You go to stand up and you realize that you can't. It feels like the weight of the world has pressed you to the ground. As you slowly open your eyes, you begin to stand up. You look around you. You realize that you are in a dimly lit warehouse. What do you do?
Okay, so I can actually stand up though, right?
Yeah.
Actually, your microphone's cutting it
All right.
in and out.
Yeah. So you can now stand up. It takes you a moment or two to push yourself to your feet. The warehouse that you find yourself in is dimly lit. What's the first thing you do?
The first thing I do is stand up. If it's dimly lit, the first thing I'm going to look for is a door.
Okay. As you begin to look around, you realize you have a pounding headache. Everything is very foggy to you. You don't know where you are. You don't know how you got there. You begin to survey your surroundings and you realize that you are surrounded by bloody bodies everywhere. There's got to be about 12 people in this warehouse. And you're fairly sure that most, if not all of these people are dead. And they have met with a very gruesome end. What do you do?
Okay, so as I see this, first thing I'm gonna check to see if I have anything on me, like my keys, my phone, anything like that. When I look at my hands, I check myself for any injuries. Look at my hands to see maybe I was responsible for this. Hopefully
So
not.
there's no blood on your hands. You don't
Okay. Ooh, that's
you don't appear to be injured. Now your hand
okay.
immediately goes to the inside of your coat pocket where you feel like there should be a cell phone. There is
Yeah.
nothing there.
Hmm. Okay.
You look around the warehouse a little more. You see that almost everybody in this warehouse has taken some sort of wound where it has ended their lives. There are two people, however, in the warehouse who appear to be injured but not dead. They're incapacitated.
Okay, so the ones that are incapacitated, they're still out though, right? Like they're just are they
They're up.
moving, groaning a little bit?
Yep.
Okay, okay,
They're groaning, but they don't
yeah,
look like they're aware of what's happened yet.
okay, okay,
You see a an older gentleman who appears to be of Germanic descent, and you see a younger woman of a petite build who, you know, appears to be of Chris, your character, I'm sorry, did we cover what her descent is?
No, we didn't. But
Magnus?
So what is your background in terms of where do you appear to hail from? The Middle East, Europe, Asia?
I will say Middle
Okay,
Eastern.
so you see a woman of a petite build who appears to be of Middle Eastern descent. So two people laying on the ground near you that are not well, they're incapacitated, but they're not dead.
okay. Actually, I go up to both of them. Actually, first of all, I'm just going to give them a little nudge with my foot because I don't. A nudge and maybe like snap my fingers in front of their face to see if how much
Okay,
more they stir.
who do
Try and
you
get
At
their
the same,
attention, you mean?
who do you go to
uh,
fir- who do you go to first? Pick one.
I go to the woman first.
Okay, so you begin to open your eyes, Chris, slowly. Okay.
Mhm.
You have no idea where you are. You don't know what has happened. You feel
Mhm.
a gentle tugging in your side. As you begin to open your eyes and look up, you realize that you are laying on your face on the ground. You look to your left and you see Greg's character nudging you in the side with his foot. Your first recollection, you have no clue who this person is.
So
I
you're
say
asking
when
me
I
what do
nudged
I?
her. Actually,
Sorry.
just a question. Actually, as I was nudging her and trying to get her attention, could I see any physical wounds on her?
No.
Like
There
anything noticeable?
so no. Where Chris is concerned, where Chris's character is concerned, there does not appear to be any physical injuries to her.
Hmm.
So he's kicking you in the side. He's not kicking you hard. He's more he he
Nudging.
Or
he
nudging, nudging.
he's weary because let's be very clear here. He doesn't know you don't know who the hell he is, and he sure doesn't know who the hell you are right now. He's more making sure that you're not dead, but he doesn't know if you're gonna spin over and stab him. Okay, so the nudging that he's doing, he's being very cautious. So
So you ask me what do I do now, right?
what's your character's response?
Okay, so first thing, my head is all foggy and I have no clue what's going on. So I'm going to start to lift my head up and look towards this person nudging me, and then when I don't recognize him, start to come to. We startled and tried to crawl backwards to get away from him. I don't know who that.
Okay, so you try to crawl backwards. Okay. As he nudges you in the side and you begin to crawl backwards, you roll over to try and get away from him, and you roll over on top of the one now bloody and deceased bodies.
Uh, and I tried to, crawl the other way.
As she's doing
Right
this,
now I'm frantic. I'm trying to get away from whatever.
You're frantic. I
I don't
agree.
know where I am.
Your character is woken up in a dimly lit warehouse with some strange guy kicking you in the side, and you've just rolled over on top of a dead body. By this point, I would suspect that your
It's
character.
Thursday.
I would suspect that your character is about to have a major panic attack. So, Greg, you asked a question. You see her roll over on top of this body now. So, what was your question?
okay, so as she starts so as soon as she starts nudging and moving around, I kind of I kind of put my hands up and I say, "Hey, slow down for a sec. We're in the middle of a shitstorm. I don't know where we are, but don't get up and panic too crazy."
I'm not gonna hurt you, say.
As I'm looking at her, I'm actually at the same time from the beginning when I gave her a nudge, I'm actually looking around the floor to see, just kind of not making a perception check, but I don't want to metagame, but just to see if there's actually any weapons around that
Okay,
I can see.
so on first appearance, by surveying your surroundings, there doesn't appear to be any weapons. So you have no idea how these injuries were inflicted on these people, but you haven't checked the bodies yet, but your previous experience tells you that these people are not going to be getting up and walking away from this.
Yeah.
Okay, so he startled you, you've rolled over on top of a body, you now realize that there's at least one dead person in this warehouse. He's put his hands up and he's told you not to panic, that he doesn't know what's going on any more than you do. So, in all of this commotion, the third individual who's at this point laying flat on their face begins to wake up. Anthony, your character wakes up with
Oh.
a splitting headache. Like,
Oh, did I go drinking again? Oh.
the first thing you do when you wake up before you open your eyes or get up is you put your hand on the back of your head to make sure there's no injuries, because the type of headache you have right now leads you to believe that someone buried an axe in the back of your skull.
Oh, okay. 5 more minutes, ma.
Okay, so you guys are hearing this this older Germanic individual groaning. Which one of
You.
you sees him put his hand on the back of his head?
I probably see him because I'm standing,
Yeah,
so
Yeah.
I'd
as soon
agree
as
with
I
that.
hear him start talking,
Yeah,
I'm going to say, I think it was more than one drink.
okay. So I would agree. You definitely see him first. Christiane's character is still scrambling.
Mm-hmm.
I'd say by this point you've probably jumped to your feet. Uh, Christiane, you look around the warehouse and you see approximately 12 bodies. Okay? And very much like Greg's character, you realize immediately these people are dead. Like,
Mm-hmm.
there's no doubt about this. Now, which one of you is going to approach Anthony's character first?
Actually, you
Greg
know what? I
will.
will go and see him. Yeah.
Okay. So, Anthony,
I'll go over and I'll say, slow down for a sec. You're in the middle of a shitstorm here. Don't jump up.
Go
Take your time.
away. I have a
Do I
headache.
leave him?
Go away.
so, we're not going to get into dice rolls yet. I'm just going to set the scene, okay? I'm going to tell you all right now that while Anthony's character is laying on his stomach trying to roll over and get 5 more minutes, and Christiane's character is still panicking because of everything that she's just seeing, Greg
Thank
is
you.
trying to calm you guys down and get you up on your feet to assess the situation,
Oh, I'm just on the ledge. Thanks.
okay? And you
Thank you.
begin to hear sirens, police sirens in the distance.
Oh crap! It's Tuesday, isn't it? All right, get up. First thing I want to do is, like again, sirens are the first thing that you don't want to hear in the morning when you first wake up. So, get up. This will probably be as sobering as a nice cup of coffee. Um, all right. I'm a medical doctor. Take a look at the bodies, see what type of trauma they received.
Gunshots.
Gunshots,
Definitely gunshots. And these
small
were,
caliber, large caliber.
I would say small caliber.
Okay.
And these were all kill shots. These shots were not delivered as a means of extracting information. This was not.
No, it's just
Yeah,
yeah.
this.
John Wick.
Yep,
They were
exactly.
John Wicked.
This was
All right.
a John Wick style execution.
Okay. So, um, all right. So at this point, um, no visible weapons. Is there any? Okay. So we are waking up. I'm assuming we're in a warehouse or a large building.
Yes, you can tell this is what appears to be a warehouse. Okay.
Okay.
Um, I would go so far as to say the warehouse for the most part is empty, other than these bodies. You do look around, you see some bunks. Some of the bunks are empty. Some of them are, partially filled with boxes. But it's definitely not a warehouse that is being used to store any large amount of material.
Okay. Um. First thing I will do is I'll ignore those two
Okay?
because I'm sorry. I don't know who they are. A B. Um. Check the doors.
So, as you begin to look around, you hear something off in the distance. Hurry up! This way! Hurry up! Get over here!
And where's over here?
You look to one end of the warehouse. There's very little lighting there, so you cannot see what you're walking into, but you see a man who appears to be in his late 40s or early 50s, standing at the only open door at the end of the warehouse. He is waving his hands in your direction, trying to get the attention of all of you and screaming, "Move your asses! I will take care of this."
Hmm.
Say, I move.
Okay, so Greg.
How warm are the bodies?
Oh, those bodies don't appear to have been dead more than about 10 or 15 minutes at tops. They're dead,
Oh,
but they're
Ooh.
not.
they're fresh.
Oh, they're fresh. So this guy is standing at the end of this dimly lit warehouse, screaming at you to haul your asses and get out. Now Greg's already
I'm
made a move.
gone.
Yeah, Greg makes a move towards this guy. So, Greg, do you walk or are you running?
Oh, no, run.
Okay. As you run through the door, he screams at you, "What the hell happened here?"
And I look and I say, I know how. I basically say, I have no idea who you are, and I cannot remember a thing. So
Okay. So,
let's
as
just
you're
get the hell out of here.
as you're saying that, he cuts you off. He says, I don't want to hear it. I'll deal with you later. He points down the end of a long hallway at the back end of the warehouse through the door that you've just gone through. He says, exit through the door on your right. It will take you out behind the warehouse. My people are waiting for you. This is the only exit. You do not have a choice.
And I do that.
Okay. So Greg's character's gone. Chris, your character sees Greg's character beat feet and run towards this screaming man. What do you do?
Oh, I'll run after him. I don't want to be left behind with this
Okay.
man.
So you run through the door. As you run through the door, this man throws his hand up for a minute. He places it on your shoulder. He looks at you and he says, where is it? Did you find it?
I look puzzled at him and I'll say, I don't know what you're talking about. I have no clue.
He
Get me
shakes
out
it.
of here. Now.
He shakes his head at you. He points to the end of the hallway, the same hallway that Greg just
Your
ran.
line is cutting
Okay, so
out.
he shakes his head
Sorry.
in disbelief at you. He points to the end of the hallway that Greg's character just ran down, and he gives you the same instructions. He says, "Go down the hallway. Take the door on your right. My people are waiting for you. I will deal with you later."
Okay. Then I go then.
Okay, Anthony, these two strangers just took off. Your gut instinct is either you wait for the po-po or you beat feet. What are you going to do?
I mosey.
Okay. So, you slowly kind of Sunday stroll walk your way to the back of the warehouse. As you go through the door, this guy looks at you and he goes, I don't think you know what you've done here. And he points to the end of the warehouse down the same hallway. He says, exit to the door on your right.
Is
We
he
will,
armed?
you cannot tell.
Really?
Nope.
What's he wearing?
He's wearing a nice gray silk suit. Okay? This
And
suit,
he's not profiling.
nope. This guy does not look like he belongs in this warehouse, and I'll tell you, he does not look like a cleaner either. He points at the end of the warehouse. He says, move before they find us all.
Okay. I have a question.
Yeah,
Can I steal his wallet?
no.
He has no wallet?
You don't want to get close enough at this point to find out. You definitely hear the sirens. They're much, much closer now.
Mosey.
Okay. You gradually walk down the hall. It's a sunny Sunday in Anthony's neighborhood. As you get to the end of the hallway and you turn to go out the door to your right, you glance over your shoulder, and all at once you see a bright flash of light from where this guy was standing. You exit out into the alleyway behind the warehouse, where you find Greg's character and Chris's character. You can go towards the front of the warehouse, or you can go towards the back of the warehouse. However, your savior was very clear on this. His people would be waiting for you at the back of the warehouse.
Obviously,
What
we go
direction are
to
you
the
heading?
front of the warehouse and mosey.
Okay.
You don't run, you
So,
walk.
you guys see Anthony's character heading towards the front of the warehouse. Are you going towards the front or the back? Chris?
Um, oh, sorry, the audio was cutting out for a little.
That's okay.
The
So,
front or the back when I
so,
followed Greg?
okay, so Anthony's character has gone towards the front of the warehouse. Completely contrary to where the guy who just saved your asses told you to go.
You don't
So,
know
So
if he
we were
saved our
already at the
asses.
back.
so you guys have exited into what you thought was the back. It ended up being an alleyway to the side of the warehouse. Okay? You can go
Mm.
towards the front or you can go towards the back. Now, the guy that just saved your butts told you to head towards the back of the warehouse. Anthony's character is deciding to go towards the front of the warehouse. What direction is your character going in?
Mm. I'm gonna go to the front.
Okay? Greg, same question. Your character is heading towards the front. Or, sorry, their characters are heading towards the front. Do you go to the front or do you go to the back?
Okay, so Buddy told us to go to the back.
Yep, he told you he would.
I'm going to the back,
You're going to the
and
back. Okay.
I'm going to the back. Just I could probably tell just with my background
Yep.
from his body language and
Yeah.
voice and stuff like that
This
that the
guy,
guy was
you could tell
dead
this.
serious.
Yep.
So
You could tell this guy was pissed. He was dead serious, and he meant business. Okay. Fair enough. So, Greg, you head towards the back of the warehouse.
yeah.
Anthony and Chris, you guys are heading towards the front of the warehouse. Just
Mhm.
about halfway down the alleyway towards the front of the warehouse, you see two armed police officers come around the corner with guns drawn, pointed right at your heads. They scream, "Stop where you are, get down on your stomachs now." Okay, what do you do? Chris,
Are we within firing range?
you would be if you had a weapon. They have guns.
No,
You don't.
well, in their firing range. There were.
Oh, hell yes. These cops, they mean business. They've got guns trailed on you, and they definitely intend to shoot you if you don't follow
Okay.
their instructions.
What I'm going to
And
do is
it's
I'm
an
going to grab
alley.
Christiane, use her as a human shield, pick her up, and run the other way.
Okay, hey, that's fine. So, Chris,
What a jerk!
Anthony grabs your character. He lifts you up off your feet. You know you're screwed. He's running with you like this. So, he's ultimately going to get shot, but not before you. So, to be very clear, when he grabs you, these cops see it. They scream, "We mean business!" Just before bullets begin to fly. Now, fortunately for you, the bullets don't hit you. The bullets, in fact, hit the two cops clear in the head. Greg, as you were running down the alley towards the back, two armed individuals with high powered guns go running by you. You stop dead in your tracks. You look over your shoulder because you know something's about to happen. As you look over your shoulder, you see the Germanic scientist looking dude grab this short little woman, yank her up off her feet to try and use her as a human shield. These two guys that just went running by you with these rifles put two clean shots right in the foreheads of the two cops that were attempting to apprehend the other two. Okay? This well dressed individual that just ushered the three out of you out of the back of that warehouse, which ultimately ended up being the side of the warehouse, emerges from the door that you just came out of, looks at the three of you, looks at the two guys that just shot the cops, and screams, "Get in the car now!" And he points towards the end of the alleyway. Greg, you look down to the end of the alleyway because you're much further down there than everybody else at this point, and you see a long white limo parked at the end of the alleyway with one door opened on the side. What do you do?
I go to the limo and I just kind of mutter to myself, "Well, guys, should have listened to the guy in the suit." So,
Yep. So Greg
oh,
jumps in the back of this limo, and I think it's fair to assume that Greg does not make any hesitation. He runs his ass to the end of this limo. Now, Anthony and Chris, you know there's more cops than your immediate future coming from the front end of the warehouse. These two guys that just killed the first two cops point at you and they say, now.
Oh, well, I'm going to the limo now.
I would suggest you run ass to that limo because what you start to see is police sirens, the lights reflecting off the wall of the building adjacent to this warehouse. So, you run or do you walk to that limo, Chris?
I run, and to boot, I will give this medical doctor a shove in the opposite direction for following me.
Okay, so Anthony, your human shield just retaliated. She shoves you in the direction of where the cops are coming from. Your well-dressed savior and his two
Goons.
well-equipped goons are pointing at you while the other two players are running towards that limo and they go, move.
Mosey.
Okay,
You don't run.
so
Not for anybody.
so Anthony's Germanic doctor slowly walks down the alley and hops in the back of the limo. Okay, so again to reiterate, you jump into this limo, you find that you are all seated towards the front of the limo, and this well-dressed individual has jumped in the limo and sat himself between these two armed goons. He once again says, where is it? Did you find it? Anthony's character looks at him and says, who are you and what are you talking about? He looks at Anthony's character and he says, Doctor, do not play games with me. What I know about you will cripple you for life. I will
So I like pink underwear. What?
have to move to Brazil.
I see that this is nothing but a game to you.
Everything's a game.
You're crazy.
I am not crazy. I'm brilliant.
Yes, you are.
He looks at your character, Chris, and he says, ah, the doctor, the archaeologist who is not an archaeologist after all.
Ooh, grave robber. Woohoo!
Again,
What do you mean?
I will ask you, where is it? Did you find
Where's what?
did you find her?
Wait, first it was an it, now it's a her?
Did
What
you
is it?
did you find my property and did you find the woman they call Skilled?
No.
Oh, what?
No idea what you're talking about.
Greg, he looks at your character and he says, and the muscle with the dark past. I do not need to employ any more idiots. Where is the woman and where is my property?
First of all, I take offense to that. Second of all, I can't remember jack shit. So, whatever's happened, you asked us. We've obviously, all of us, have,
So
we can't remember anything.
he's questioned all three of you. None of you can remember what he's talking about. You can see that this guy is angry. Like we are talking his Eastern European complexion, which is kind of a pale whitish color, has turned almost a scarlet red. He is getting so angry.
Get a blow.
He looks at the three of you. He raises his hand like this. He closes his fist, and then he does this. And suddenly, you see a bright flash of light before the three of you are rendered unconscious again.
Great.
Now, when you begin to wake up again, the limo has stopped. You have no idea how long you've been incapacitated for. You're at a loss to explain what just happened. The limo door is open, and one of the armed thugs is sitting there as you wake up, and he's got a assault rifle, like, a machine gun or whatever, trained on the three of you. Greg, your character wakes up first again. Okay? As you wake up, he motions the gun towards the open door and he says, "Get out. Get out now."
I stand up and get out and just say, I've had better days.
Okay. So you get out of the limo. Good choice. So, Chris, your character also begins to wake up just in time to see Greg's character getting out of the limo.
Mhm.
The same armed assailant has a gun that he now trains on you and he motions towards the door. He says to you, "Follow him." And he points at Greg as Greg is getting out.
Okay.
Okay. Anthony,
I follow.
your character also wakes up as Christiane brushes by you. He now trails the gun on you and he says, "Doctor, here, doctor, my employer would like to have a word with you outside. Get out."
Okay. Get out.
Okay. So the three of you exit the limo. You find the other armed assailant standing next to this well-dressed man standing outside the limo. As you get out, Anthony, the other armed assailant comes out of the limo behind you. The three of you are now standing with your backs against the side of the limo. This guy again is standing in the middle of these two armed individuals. He looks at you and he says, "I do not know what game you're playing, but I know a little something about each of you." And he points his fingers wavingly at all of you. He says, "I know something about all of you. Things that you do not want your family, your friends, your co-workers." And then he looks directly at Anthony and he says, "or the authorities to know about."
Mm.
He says, "I will tell you one more time. Find the woman and find my property. My patience is running thin." He then turns and gets back in the limo, followed by the two armed assailants. They close the door, and this limo pulls away, leaving you standing in what appears to be an industrial area of the city. Now you look across from where the limo had originally parked, and you realize that you have just been dumped at the waterfront. Now, um, give me one quick sec. I just want to check something on your character sheets here.
Oh, so it's not Thursday. It's Tuesday.
No, it's Wednesday.
Okay, so
I'm lost without my phone.
Ah,
That's fun. That's funny. More so
If you
because
want, I can graft one to you. That way you'll never lose your phone again.
all right. So you guys have been dumped at the waterfront. Across from where the limo was parked, you can see boats. You can see the lake. Over your shoulder, in front of you, I mean, you can see a lot of industrial buildings. Okay. Most of them appear to be dormant. You know, you have no idea what time it is, but it's definitely later in the evening. Most of these warehouses appear to be either vacant or dormant. Maybe, it's the end of the workday and everyone's gone home. What's the first thing you do? In order of initiative, let's start with Greg and then go Chris and then go Anthony. So, Greg, you're in this dormant area, bunch of empty warehouses or what you assume are empty. You can see boats across from where the limo was parked, and for the most part, empty buildings behind you. For the most part.
Okay, so I turned towards these guys and I said, first of all, the name's Pete. Second of all, we're in a heap load of shit. So I don't know who that guy was. I can't remember a thing. Offhand, would I know, um, think to myself, how far away from here do I live? I'm just trying to gain
Yeah, hey,
the game.
if you think you know how far you live, I would say you have a pretty good idea of how far you live. I'm gonna
Yeah, like
say
it,
I'm gonna say that based on what you recognize as your surroundings, you're probably a good 45 minutes away from your domicile. Okay?
okay, so this is a waterfront that I recognize. It's not
Oh,
one.
yeah,
No,
no,
if I look around, I'm
yeah, no, you know where you are.
still in the
You
same city.
so to be very clear, you have no problem remembering who you are, where you live, what your background is, okay, the secrets that you're worried this guy might know about you. You're definitely familiar with all of that. The problem you three have is that the last 72 hours are non existent. Now, Greg, Pete, your character Pete realizes that based on where you recognize yourself to be, you are at least 45 minutes away from your residence. Now, you've already discovered that you don't have your cell phone. Is there anything else that you can't find?
I would have checked for my wallet, keys, cell phone, check my pockets for anything.
Okay. So we've
So,
established earlier in the warehouse you asked about your keys. So your wallet is the only thing you didn't check for. You don't have your cell phone, you don't have your keys. Your hand gravitates towards your front right pocket where you would normally keep your wallet, and you discover the wallet is gone. So you're 45 minutes away from home, but you've got no means of getting there. What type of car do you
turned
drive?
to these guys.
What type of car does your character drive, Greg?
Um, say Toyota Land Cruiser
Toyota Land Cruiser.
TV.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. So here's what I would like you to do. I'd say you remember that you drive a Toyota Land Cruiser. For the time being, document that as an aspect. Are you a good driver?
Yeah.
I'd say based on your character's background, you definitely can handle yourself behind the wheel. So I would maybe document that as an aspect in one of your available aspect slots. Now, you don't have your keys. You don't have your wallet. You don't have your phone. What do you do next?
I turn to these guys and say, check your pockets for anything. I've got nothing. I think we should just try to get out of here ASAP and try to find a phone.
Chris, you're next. Greg's character, Pete, has just introduced himself. Hey, my name's Pete. He's told you that he thinks that you guys are in a heap load of trouble, and he's realized that he's missing all his personal belongings. No wallet, no phone, no car keys for his Land Cruiser. What do you do?
I would introduce myself. Hi, I'm Maya. And then start checking for my own belongings. The only thing I do have on me, surprisingly, my phone
So you have your
seems to
phone.
still be working.
Okay, sorry. You have your phone on you. You said.
I have my phone, just happened to be in one of my pockets as opposed to the first that also was missing from my thing.
Okay. Yep. That's fair.
And the first thing I would say, aside from introducing myself, is like, oh really? I know we're in a shit, but I have no clue what that trouble is, and I think we would have to stick together and try to work through it.
Okay. So, you're right. You check your pocket and you discover your phone. Now, are you gonna try and do anything with that phone?
As she pulls it out, I'm
Um,
going to say to her, what's the last number on the phone that
Okay.
you called or received a call from?
hmm,
Damn good idea. So, you pull your phone
yes.
out from your pocket, Maya, and you go to look at it, and you realize that phone is not gonna work. The reason you have your phone is because they've destroyed it. Okay? You look at this
So
phone.
what was that?
So you pull your
The
phone out
reason
of.
I have my
Okay, the reason you still have your phone, Maya, is because when you pull it out of your pocket, you discover that phone has been destroyed. It looks like somebody took a mallet and smashed the phone.
oh,
Okay? So you may have it, but the phone is inoperable.
okay, then can't check the last number that I dialed, nor can I call for help.
Nope. This phone at this point is a paperweight. Heinrich, Maya,
Inventory check.
yeah, Heinrich, Maya and Pete have just introduced themselves to you. Um, now might be a good time to introduce yourself to the two strangers you find yourself attached to at the hip.
Mm-hmm. Hello, I'm Heinrich. Inventory check.
Okay, fair enough. So, Heinrich, you immediately check your pockets. You've got nothing. You're completely cleaned out, very much like Pete. So you guys are all standing in an industrial waterfront area. The only person with a phone is Maya, but Maya's phone looks like somebody took a mallet to it. It's
Check my shoes. Do I have $100 bills in the soles?
Do you? You tell me.
Be
Checking.
better if you, I think it would be better if you had to get smartphone
Yeah.
No.
in
So,
your
$100
okay.
bills.
So Heinrich, if you tell me that you have $100 stashed in your shoes, then you have $100 stashed in your shoes.
Then I have $100. So that is our entire inventory. $100 and a broken phone. This
Okay.
is awesome.
Okay. So this is
I
very
guess
good.
you're buying lunch.
The, on that subject, thank you, Pete. So, as Heinrich is putting his shoe back on after fishing the $100 out of it, you hear someone just down the street calling out your names. Pete, Maya, Heinrich, this way! You look down the street and you see an older gentleman who looks like he's probably in his late 50s or early 60s, standing there wearing a tank top, a pair of shorts, socks and running shoes, and an apron. And he's waving at you. This way! Come on, this way!
Do you sense a theme here?
Well, it must be
Eh.
our face.
Okay. Well,
So,
go up to him.
all right. So you guys
Who
head
are
down.
you and how do you know our names?
So good question. So you guys head down the street towards this older-looking guy, um, and as you get closer to him, behind one of the larger warehouses, you come around the corner and you see this really old school looking diner. Okay? And he looks at you and Heinrich asks that question. He goes, Heinrich, I'm hurt. You know me. It's Clint. Crazy Clint Dufresne. You know me. Come on in. I'll get you a cup of coffee. And he points you towards the open door of his diner. Now, the first thought that goes through all of your heads, almost like you were connected at the brain, is who in the hell would build a diner in what is purely an industrial waterfront area? Especially when half of these warehouses look like they're abandoned. But the diner's fully operational, the lights are on, the door is open, and he's ushering you in. He's like, Crazy Clint will take care of you guys. Don't worry. Come on in, I'll get you a cup of joe.
Okay.
Okay,
Sure.
so Heinrich makes the move towards the door first. Heinrich goes into the diner. Clint has already walked in front of you. The diner is not the most well-maintained diner. It's not a greasy spoon, but you know what? It definitely is showing its age over the years. The lights are all on. Someone at least is home. And he points towards one end of the diner where there's a free booth, and he goes, "Go sit down and let Clint take care of you." So, Heinrich, you were the first one to go in. Do you go sit in the booth?
Sure.
Okay. Chris, Maya, Heinrich's gone inside. You can see him go and sit down at this table. What do you do?
I'll go sit at an adjacent table, but
Okay, so you're not
still
gonna sit.
holding a grudge.
Okay, that's fine. You're quite
You used me
literally.
as a human shield. It's gonna be a while.
Yep,
Why?
yep. All right. So Pete, the crazy German guy, and the human shield have now gone into Clint's diner. Uh, there's definitely some animosity here because you notice
I can't imagine why.
Heinrich sitting at one table and Maya has gone and positioned herself at another table. What do you do?
I'll go sit down and sit. I'm going to sit down with Heinrich and them.
Okay, so
Okay,
Heinrich
you
and Heinrich
trust
and
him.
Heinrich and Peter sitting together. Clint walks up to the table with the two of you to begin with, okay? And he says to you, "Don't worry, guys. Crazy Clint, I got you covered." He goes, "You guys look like you've had a really, really rough night. It looks like Uzma put you through your paces this time." He points at Pete and he goes, "Coffee or booze?
Yes.
Coffee or booze?"
Coffee.
Okay. "Don't worry, I remember how you like it." He points at Heinrich. He goes, "Here, doctor. Coffee or booze?"
No, I only drink water.
Okay. He then looks over to the next table where Maya could be seeing shooting daggers at Heinrich. He goes, Doctor, coffee or booze?
Coffee. Strong coffee.
Okay. He wanders off for a few minutes behind the counter, leaving the three of you to sit there and talk. Feel
So, what do
free.
you think is actually going on?
Yeah, I lost the audio.
Okay, so I'll repeat it. So this guy, Clint, wanders off for a few minutes to get your coffees and the doctor's water, and he leaves you there to discuss amongst yourselves what's happened so far. So play it out.
Okay, Heinrich, what do you think's really happened here?
I have no idea. All I
I said,
know
you're a
is I
doctor, you
wake
should
up.
understand this. I said, you should understand something about amnesia, because we all have it
This
pretty
is
bad.
not amnesia.
The chemicals, then.
Not chemical.
Hmm.
Then what?
I have no idea. I don't remember anything. I don't know
I think
you.
we've all been traumatized. We can't.
Okay, Chris, your audio cut out just a little. I would repeat that again so your players can hear it.
I said, I think we've all been. We just can't remember.
Okay, so
We'll eventually come back.
Okay, so Maya believes that you guys have all been traumatized, that eventually your memories will come back. The good doctor doesn't believe this is drug induced, he just has no clue what's going on. Pete, based on your experience in the past, what do you think is going on?
I'd say I can't remember, but I'm probably thinking that obviously we got ourselves in too deep on something. I think we've been drugged.
Okay, fair enough. So, as the three of you are sitting there trying to piece together what's happened, this older guy who, for some unknown reason, likes to refer to himself as Crazy Clint, comes walking back to the table. He puts the cup of water in front of Heinrich, very strong coffee in front of Maya, and a cup of coffee in front of Pete. Heinrich, you're good to drink the water. Okay, you're actually all good to drink your drinks. But between Maya and Pete, I need to know who drinks the coffee first.
I drank it as soon as
I'm
I got
sorry.
it.
Okay, so
What's that?
I said between yourself and Pete, I need to know who
Yeah.
drinks their coffee first. So Maya, do
Okay, who
you?
got the coffee first?
So we'll say that Pete, you got your coffee first.
Okay. I would drink it as soon as I got it.
Okay. So, Pete, your character takes a couple of sips of the coffee, and then you look up and you see this guy standing there, Crazy Clint, and he's got a big old smile on his face, and he looks at you and he goes, See? Just the way you like it. He goes, I told you. I've told you before. Don't worry. Crazy Clint Defray will take care of you. And you know what, Pete? It is exactly how your character likes his coffee. As a matter of fact, I would go so far as to say it's probably the best cup of coffee you've ever had.
I look at him and say, it's Crazy Clint or Crazy?
Yeah, crazy Clint.
Yeah. So crazy, Clint. Since none of us can remember what's going on, can you help us out here? Between the guy in the suit, wherever we are, the room that we woke up with a whole bunch of dead bodies. What kind of job were we into, and who are we working for?
Okay, give me 1 second here. Okay, I just need to check something. Okay, so he looks at you, big smile on his face still. He goes, I don't know. He goes, I only met you 72 hours ago when Uzma dropped you off at my door the first time.
That's what I was going to ask. The name he just said, Uzma, how do you spell that?
Uzma.
Who is this
So,
Uzma guy?
He looks at you.
exactly.
You know, Joseph Uzma. He goes, Mr. Uzma is not the man you want to upset. He's not the man that you want to play games with.
Then who is he?
So he looks at Maya and he goes, Joseph Uzma. That's his name.
And that means something for us?
Why, yes, my dear, that should definitely mean something to you. And if you.
Enlighten us.
No. Now, in this particular case, Crazy Clint knows when it's not safe to say something. I'm the guy that gets you what you need, but even I won't cross Joseph Uzma. So
Why?
then he looks over at Pete again. He goes, "Are you enjoying your coffee?"
Yes, I am. Great.
He goes, "Good,
Just the way I like it.
good, good.
Are
You're
you
not."
feeling sick,
Thank
Pete?
you.
Are
Oh,
you feeling sick yet?
Oh, Mr. Grab my forehead.
Just making sure before I start drinking my.
Yeah,
so
it's good actually.
I can tell you there is absolutely nothing wrong with the drinks at all.
Oh, okay.
Okay, you are safe to drink your drinks. It is not in Clint Dufresne's best interest to poison you. Okay, so
Okay.
you can definitely feel confident in drinking your drinks. Now he looks at Pete again and he goes, "Did you lose anything?"
Besides my memory, wallet, keys, I'm not
Cell
even sure of the
phone.
date
He
or
gets
what
up.
day it is.
He walks behind the counter. He comes back around the counter with an envelope. And as he gets to the table, he undoes the top of the envelope. It's one of those envelopes that has a string that keeps it shut.
Mhm.
And he pours the contents of the envelope out onto the table. In the envelope, Pete, you will find your cell phone, your wallet, and your car keys. Now, he looks at you and he says, I told you where it's in my best interest. Crazy Clint is the guy that will get you what you need. He says, so, have you folks had any luck finding the girl yet? What's her name again? Skirid? Something like that. It's a strange name. It's not a name that you hear too often these days, is it? And he looks directly at Maya when he says that. Okay? Now, Maya, your character, give me one moment here.
Okay.
Okay, so we're gonna base this row. Let me just check your character sheet here for 1 minute. You're gonna need to roll the dice in a minute, okay? I just want to
Oh,
confirm something on your character. Okay, we are going to base your row on clever, Okay. So your score, you get a +3 to rolls of clever. Okay.
+3 or +2?
Is it not a +3 that you have on your character sheet for clever?
Oh, yeah, okay.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
sorry.
we're gonna base this row on clever. So what I need you to do is I need you to roll your dice and tell me what you get on your clever row. And take your +3 into consideration. So whatever you roll,
Okay.
you would add your +3 to it.
Okay, so hold on. Rolling. And I'm rolling all four, right?
Yep.
Okay. I have two pluses and two minuses. Essentially,
Okay.
I'm at three still.
So you're at 3. That's okay
Yeah.
because you cannot be sure. But this name Skirrid, which by the way I'll tell you is spelt, okay? And the spelling of this is going to be important to you. The name
Okay.
itself is spelled
I'm just gonna go here.
Skuid.
Squid?
SKUID.
Yeah, squid or yeah, squid, sorry. The name Squid will go color squid. So this name Squid, you know you've heard it before.
Okay.
Okay?
It's actually skied, but yeah.
Yeah,
Squid.
Skeed. We'll go with Skeed. Okay? So
Sure.
you know you've heard this name before, and you agree with, Crazy Clint.
Mm-hmm.
This is not a common name, but what's your background? Your character? What are they again?
Mine is Eastern, sir.
No, no. What is their background?
Oh.
What is their profession?
Oh, archaeologist.
Okay. So you're fairly sure that this name, you've heard it academically before, but you
Hmm.
cannot place it, not for sure. So he looks at you, this diner owner who says that he's the guy that can get you almost anything you need, but he's not willing to tell you who this Joseph Uzma guy is. He looks at you and he goes, "This name, it's not very common, is it, Doctor?"
No, it's not.
He goes, "Maybe,
Mm-hmm.
maybe. You say you can't remember. Maybe it's time for a trip to the library." And then he looks at you all and he goes, "Well, Tuesday night, Heinrich was right. Tuesday night, it's about closing time, folks. Clint's got business to take care of. Pete, your car is parked outside where you left it to the side of the building.
Perfect.
Please take it home with you tonight."
Oh, well.
He walks to the door, he opens the door, he goes, "Well, in some ways, I hope this conversation's been enlightening. Now, if you don't mind." And he points his hand towards the open door. Who leaves first? Heinrich was
I
the
know when I'm not welcome. Bye!
Heinrich was the
I
first.
want my purse back.
Yep. Well, he looks at you and he goes, "I'm sorry, Doctor." He goes, "The only belongings I have here belong to Mr. Gillingham," pointing at Pete. He goes,
Oh,
"That's it."
so
And he
where's my purse?
don't know. So he points you towards the door. The crazy German dude that used you as a human shield, he's already exited the building.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, I'm leaving next.
Okay,
Now that I know my purse is not there,
so you're standing outside.
keeping 6 feet away from the crazy German.
Yep. Okay. Excuse me. That leaves you, Pete. He looks at you. He goes.
What? Social distancing. Ah!
Clint looks at you, Pete, and he goes,
No, it's more like I don't trust you.
Mr. Gillingham, if you don't mind, as I said, I have
Oh, I'm
other
leaving.
business to attend to.
I'm gonna say I'm leaving and going towards my car. I
Okay,
asked these two. I will assume you need a left.
Shotgun.
okay. So you get to your car. It's at the side of the building. What condition would you say you last left your Land Rover in?
I'd say I was driving actually one of the older Land Rovers, 8, 9 years old. Nothing too special. It works
Any
mechanically well.
any dings or dents, or
Oh,
does your character generally try and take care of their vehicle as much as possible?
yeah. And, I'd say no, just because of my profession. I don't want anything that stands out too. So it looks like it needs a good wash, cleaning.
Okay.
Under the hood, it works
Did you
great.
leave it with tires?
What
Because there
what
are no tires.
what would the vehicle have had any damage to it the last time you saw it that you can remember?
Nothing major.
Okay. Perfect. So you walk around the side of the building, you find your car there, Pete. Okay. And you notice immediately as you approach the car that there is a sizable dent in the driver's side door, and you do not remember that dent being there before. It almost looks like someone tried to crack open the side of the car with a battering ram.
Jesus.
Well, you still have wheels on it.
Yeah. You know what? I can live with a dent.
Okay,
It still works.
so you get in the car.
Oh yeah. Open
Okay,
that up. Make sure the door works.
as you open the door to get in, you look on the back seat and you see a woman's purse on the back seat of the vehicle. Now, Pete's gone to his car. You two are still standing there. He's already offered you a ride.
I said shotgun.
Okay?
Hello.
Heinrich's got in the car, Maya. The two of them are now in Pete's slightly beat up Land Rover.
Open the glove compartment. See if my gun is in there.
Okay? What kind of gun would it be?
What else? Awasa.
Okay? Document it on your character sheet. I would say that's an aspect. Okay?
Okay.
The question becomes, how proficient are you with it?
You know. Let's see. Hold on a sec here. Let me just add it. How proficient?
Yeah.
Better than average, I
Okay.
guess.
That's fair enough. So you open Pete's glove compartment. Pete, are you cool with this crazy German dude rooting through your belongings?
Not gonna find much unless you put it there.
Okay, well, he in fact does find something. He finds his wafer in your glove compartment.
I
See?
think you
I
left it
know what
there.
I'm doing.
Okay, now, as I said, Pete, when you got in the car, you looked on the back seat. And Maya, describe your character's purse, please.
Um, see, it's plain black with a couple of zippers, the one on the top. Nothing fancy,
Okay, Pete,
very, very plain.
when you get in the car, you see a purse that fits the description of Maya's purse on the back seat of your car.
I grab the purse and wave it to her if she hasn't started walking over yet. I'm just gonna assume
Run
this is
over.
yours, not mine.
Okay, so I'll grab it and I'll back seat of your car because you offered me a ride.
Okay,
And my cell phone is broken.
okay. So, Pete, as you start the car, the dashboard.
Boom.
Now, yeah, that
Oh, game over.
fastest way to
Done.
end an adventure. Pete, as you start the car, you look at the clock on the dashboard. It is in fact coming up to midnight. Okay, so we've now confirmed that it is Tuesday night at Heinrich's request. Turns out he was right all along. It's coming up to midnight. Now, Maya, you have it stuck in your head that that name should mean something.
Scott,
Yeah. Okay. Can you hear me?
I can hear it.
on and off. I'm
Oh,
missing half of it now.
okay. Anytime you need me to repeat something, just say. So, Maya,
Yes.
you have it stuck in your head that that name should mean something to you.
Mm-hmm. I seem to remember.
Okay, so you're all sitting in the car. It's coming up to midnight
To
on.
the library.
Yeah, not at 11:30, 12 o'clock in the morning, my friend.
That's because you don't know the right people.
So, how do you want to proceed from here? The library definitely is not open.
The first thing I'm going to do is check my phone to check the times, and I'm going to check my, well, first of all, the time, just time and date.
Yep. Okay.
Check for text messages, see if any voicemails showing.
Okay. So, give me one moment to check something, and I will let you know whether or not you find anything. Just give me a moment, okay? Just confirm this before I say this to you. Um, Okay. So, Pete, you ready for this? So, you dial into your voicemail. Okay? There is a message there waiting for you. It's a very quick sentence. I told you we'd find you, you bastard. And then the message ends. Now, here we go. Pete, just as that message ends, let me see something on your character sheet here. Okay, Pete, so just as that message ends,
Mm-hmm.
bullets hit the front end of your car. Make a make a roll for quick. Let me know what you get.
Okay, so quick.
Quick.
Is it just the three dice?
No, so it's going to be your 4d6. Okay, you're going to roll them,
So
and
46.
yep,
Okay.
because that's what you're using, right? And I
Okay,
said
so it's 46 all the time.
all the time it's
Okay.
4d6, and you're going to want to use the reference sheet that I sent you to determine
Yeah.
what your row is, but it's always going to be 4d6.
Okay. 46. Ooh, nice.
Now
Um.
add your bonus for quick to whatever you wrote.
Okay, so I add three more dice.
No, no, just add the number. Okay.
Oh, so
So what did you roll for quick to begin with?
uh,
What is your roll?
two sixes, a five, and a two.
Okay, so look at the chart I sent you that tells you how to
Yeah.
break those down.
So so that's three pluses
Yep.
and a two, so that is two plus the three is five total.
Oh, okay. Give me one
That's how it
sec.
works.
Give me 1 second here. Okay. The bullets hit the front end of the vehicle. Okay. On the passenger side of the car, just above the tires. So they don't actually do any damage to any occupants in the car, but your car just got riddled with like 2 gunshots. This is after you checked your voicemail and received a message from someone saying, I told you we'd find you, you bastard.
So if
What do
my
you,
car's, if my, I was going to say if the car's not running,
oh,
start it up.
yeah, the car's running. We're gonna already
Okay,
assume you started it already because you wanted to check the time on the clock on the dashboard.
yeah. If I'm being shot up from the front, I look in the
It's
back.
from the side.
From the side, I
Yeah,
look at the
Which
fastest way.
side? My side?
your side.
My side.
Yep.
You mean I haven't been hit?
Nope. It hit the front of the vehicle.
Okay. I
Front
So
take the fastest
side.
way out of there.
yes.
So
Okay, so you throw that thing in reverse and you
yeah.
pull out onto the street. You flip it into, first gear or whatever. Like you accelerate forward, okay? And you take off speeding. I need you to make one more row for quick and I need to know what you get.
Okay. Ooh. Plus brings nothing. So one minus one plus the three, so it's a two.
You get a 2.
Yeah, because I rolled a 1 6, two twos, and a three, which is, gives me a minus one. Then the
Okay.
plus three gives me a
That
two.
that's fair. So, Maya, I need you to make a row as well, and I'm going to tell you what I need you to make a row for right now, okay? Give me one
Okay.
second.
Ida,
Yeah.
what's he doing? Okay, I was gonna see you can have those if you want.
I need you to row your
Hey.
I want you to row quick. I need to know what row you get for quick and add your +1 to it.
Okay, well, what am I rolling quick for?
You're going to find out in a minute.
Oh, okay, so I'm rolling first. All right. Uh, so, jeez. I've got 2 blanks, a plus and a minus, so I'm still at 1.
Okay. So, as Pete whips out of the side parking lot of Crazy Clint's Diner after the front right passenger side of the vehicle gets riddled with bullets. Now, Heinrich, you avoided it because it hit the front above the wheel, okay? But as Pete rips out of this parking lot onto the street and accelerates, another gunshot blows out the back window where you are sitting. Okay?
Mhm.
Now,
Okay.
now, um, the glass that shatters,
It's safety glass. It won't shatter.
uh,
It
That's
stars up.
yep, okay.
not
So,
safety glass.
what's that? Oh, okay, no, it's Pete's car. So he's going to know if there were any modifications done to this vehicle. Is it safety glass in the vehicle or is it normal glass?
It's normal
Well,
glass.
ah,
Everything about this vehicle is normal.
Everything about the vehicle is normal. Okay, so Maya,
safety glass is standard. You don't have safety glass, you can't drive it.
wow.
Oh, okay. Okay, no, if it's normal safety glass, I
Oh,
thought he was asking like
Okay, no,
like bulletproof
that
glass.
that's fair. So, Maya,
Yeah.
you lurch down in the seat expecting to have to dodge bullets. The bullets hit the back window of the car. You can see the window crack as you duck down, okay?
Hmm. Yeah.
But the window does not shatter.
No, but the bullets go straight through it.
Mhm. That's okay. The bullets went through it, but she dodged it. She got down in time. So, it's at this point that your character may want to advise the vehicle's driver to get the hell out of there.
Book it, you bastard! Book it.
Okay,
Yeah. Drive faster.
Pete.
I'm pushing her as hard as I can.
Okay, that's fair enough. So, that's it. You escape. Okay?
Good.
Later on that evening, Pete drops Maya off at her place of residence and drops Heinrich off at his place of residence. Heinrich, who, by the way, we just lost. I'm not sure what happened to his video feed.
Because I interrupted it.
Okay, that's fair enough. Now, the recommendation was made that you need to find out who this woman is and why
Mhm.
you're wrapped up in this mess. So, we can either call it here and pick up next week, or we can continue on to the next day. You guys tell me
Eh,
what you want to do.
I think we should call it here for now.
Yeah, I think it's a good
Yeah.
spot to
It's a good
stop.
place.
Okay, so let's remember a couple quick things here. You have been dropped off at your places of residence.
Respective homes.
Yep,
How does
Yay.
he know where we live?
We told him.
because
We told you on the way.
We're in the car with him.
you're the ones being driven home by him. He kind of needs to know where he's taking you, right?
I
Okay.
live with you.
No.
If you guys want to work that into your characters, if there's a little bromance thing going on here, that's between the two of you. Okay? But
I was going to
having
say, well, if he's a doctor, I'm probably renting a room off him for the basement.
I'll tell you what, actually, we're gonna talk about that at the beginning of next week's session. Because if you guys want to use that as an aspect, we can actually use that. So I'll leave it up to you. But for the time being, you've been dropped off at your places of residence with the understanding that you're stuck in whatever the hell's going on together, and you're gonna
Mhm.
have to figure this out together. Because in truth, your lives quite literally depend on it. Are we good?
Sounds good.
All right, everyone. Thanks very much for joining us
All
here
right.
on the CanGeek Games and Collectibles YouTube channel for session 1 of As Fate Would Have It. Thank you again to Chris, Anthony, and Greg for joining us on this messed up adventure. And we look forward to running session 2 for you next week. Until then, take care and ciao for now.